The sun had barely set over Levante when Barcelona found themselves locked in a match that felt more like an exam than an exhibition, a test of character wrapped in controversy. From the opening whistle, Levante defended like a team with nothing to lose. Compact lines, lightning counters, and an intensity that forced Barcelona to probe, recycle, and occasionally panic. The first half offered chances but no comfort. Barcelona created openings yet struggled to break a disciplined low block, and every small mistake looked amplified under the stadium lights. Then came the flashpoint that defined the evening. Alejandro Balde in a tangle inside the box, the ball striking his arm, and the referee pointing to the spot. For a moment the match hung on a single whistle, a decision that split the stadium and set social feeds ablaze. Players protested, fans shouted, and the momentum that had belonged to Levante suddenly carried the weight of doubt. Hansi Flick left the game with the exact complexity of modern management. Gratitude for 3 points, but frustration about a decision that almost rewrote the scoreboard in Levante's favour. He would later say the play wasn't clear and that the referee made a judgment he had to accept, but the phrase carried the kind of measured anger a coach uses when he doesn't want to inflame things but cannot hide his displeasure. In the locker room, Flick did what managers do. He adjusted. He shuffled roles, most conspicuously moving Rafinha out wide, a tweak that opened corridors, created 1-versus-1 opportunities and rebalanced Barcelona's attacking geometry. It was a calculated risk, the kind of small gamble that in a different game might look like desperation. Here it became the hinge of the comeback. The second half arrived with Barcelona playing with an urgency that felt equal parts tactical discipline and relief. Pedri emerged as the calming, decisive figure, a goal that didn't simply restore parity but altered the psychological map of the match. His strike arrived at the precise moment when belief could have fractured. Instead, it fused the team back together and reminded everyone that Barca still possessed players who can change a match in a single touch. As the game flowed on, the late winner arrived after a sequence that rewarded the persistent pressing and the newfound width from Rafinha's shift. By the final whistle, Barcelona had the 3 points and a perfect start on the table, but the victory arrived wrapped in caveat. The penalty call left a residue of grievance and questions about officiating standards. Balde's involvement in the incident raised the broader issue of defensive discipline in build-up moments, and the fact that Flick had to rewire his front line at half-time suggested that, despite the result, the side is still searching for an ideal balance. Flick's reaction after the match was revealing: pride in the players' refusal to give up, acceptance of the referee's decision, and a measured insistence that the game offered useful lessons. That mixture, praise, protest, and pragmatic learning, captures where Barca stand right now. They are a team capable of thrilling recoveries and tactical ingenuity, but also a side whose defending and susceptibility to tight, countering opponents will be tested repeatedly this season. The Levante win matters because points matter, because momentum early in the campaign shapes confidence, and because Flick's willingness to make on-the-fly changes signals a manager prepared to experiment. Yet the match also sounded a warning. When tight decisions go against you, and when compact teams force you into uncomfortable patterns, the margin for error narrows quickly. For Barcelona, the task is to convert tactical flashes into consistent solutions, to shore up defensive clarity without diluting the attacking creativity that produced Pedri's leveller and the late winner. For Flick, the night was both vindication and reminder. His decisions worked when they were bold, but the controversy that nearly cost his team the game cannot be the thing that defines them. As the club returns from Levante with 3 points and a thicket of talking points, the real story will be whether these early lessons are absorbed or repeated, because in a season, small patterns become big problems, and a single contentious penalty can become the starting point for a much larger conversation about how Barcelona win and how they avoid nearly losing what they so narrowly keep.